So, welcome back to Books Change Your Life Mindset. I'm going to be sharing my experiences and my top tools whilst reading these books. So, you can make an informed decision on is this the next book to add to your collection. So buckle up and let's start the journey together because we're on a bit of a ride. So, what was Fierce Conversations all about? Well, the author puts it like this. It was about how to overcome barriers to enable meaningful conversations whilst encouraging others to reveal their true opinions. Imagine that, eh? Whilst trying to deal with a difficult conversation in confidence and with some sensitivity. So, this was a book that I found very challenging, very informative, but overall had some really deep meanings. So, it really did focus also on, increasing the clarity of the situation, whilst also inspiring creativity from yourself and the other person to really resolve some of those root cause problems, which I think we can all do a little bit of. So here are my top 3 key learnings. So the main tool that they highlighted in this book is what they call the 7 principles. And today what I want to take you through is 3 of those 7 principles, or 3 of the 7 principles. The first one, and this one is one of the ones that I think stood out the most from me. It was called Be Here, Prepared to Be Nowhere Else. Now, this was something that I heard by another motivational speaker, Dan Dapani, and then I read here again, and it really clicked for me to say, how am I dedicating my presence during a conversation that is difficult for both them and me, and how am I making sure we are both together being present in the situation in that moment. Now, Susan goes into a lot more detail, but for me, just that overview of being present in the moment and really listening and really hearing what they're saying, because it's one thing to see and watch the other person, where you can see their body language, you can see their reactions, but really hearing them by being present can make so much of a difference. And I thought it was a great takeaway. The other one was take responsibility for your own emotional wake. And this one I learned through crucial conversations. Along with this, they had a slightly different take as Susan took it, but it was really essentially about making sure that you're focusing in on your emotions and you're managing the other person's emotions. So how are you controlling that emotional control to get the best out of that conversation whilst making it safe, whilst making it informative, and while making it creative, and whilst ultimately solving the problem for that person, and it really helps you to take yourself out of it and also to become more vulnerable to the other person. So for me, a great learning. Yeah. So really, I think combining those 2 was fantastic. And the last technique was mindfulness. And their saying was, let silence do the heavy lifting. What I took out of this was, you need to look at how you're phrasing your questions. So you've just been present, you've just taken responsibility for your emotions. But now how are you going to rephrase those questions to enable the other person to explore their situation and uncover their why and the reasoning the problem has occurred, and how you and how we all going to solve this problem together. And one of the techniques she says in this, there's many little mini techniques in this, but was asking the questions, but also letting them answer the questions. We all have a tendency to butt in and think we know the answers to the questions, and the reality is we don't. It's a blind spot. It's something that you really have to focus on to say, no, I need to sit back and listen to them, to understand them, to find out them, and to really hear them. And for me, that was a great learning within this book. So, there's many more takeaways, but I'm going to throw in a bonus. So I know I said 3, but there's a little bonus tool, and it was called the beach ball tool. Now, what I use this tool for, and this was meant for group sessions and various other things, but I found it really useful as a tool to prepare before a different conversation. Because sometimes you've got to have that conversation with a person. That person is out there and they want to basically rip your head off. But going into the conversation blind, you're going to get sucked into using your emotion, and we really don't want that to happen. So the beach ball tool was a great little tool, a step-by-step process to walk through and really question yourself. What have you asked? What have you done? What are you prepared to do? What have you asked for help? And basically plan out what you're going to do to help this person. So I really found it a great tool. Now, I'd encourage you to read the book, use the tools how you see fit. They're how I found them, and that's how I'm going to use them. But I think, thank you for staying to the end. And as you can see, there was some great tools, but these were only my top 3. There was plenty more inside. As I said, there was 7 principles. We only touched on 3. So I encourage you to pick up this book, have a read through all of it, and decipher what's the best steps for you. Because I'm sure everyone will take different learnings and different opportunities as you go through it, and different interpretations. So there's plenty involved in there. There's plenty available. So would I recommend this book? I give it a big thumbs up. So for me, I really enjoyed the tools and the new techniques I hadn't really considered before and I hadn't heard of. So it really opened my eyes to taking those steps back. The one thing I can say though is I did have some reservations and challenges while reading this book, as there was a lot of times she talked in story, and sometimes I got lost in the story, and I really got lost in the message. So be careful. Take your time, really understand the messaging and where the direction is she's trying to go. And it was something that I found that as a new reader at the time, I really struggled with, because I was trying to get through it quickly and I really didn't take fully on board what she was trying to teach. So watch out for that one. But it was really, really great content, and I really found it helpful and really insightful. Overall, I give Fierce Conversations a thumbs up and recommend it to everyone. So please give it a read. Let me know your comments on what you think about it, and read Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. If you enjoyed my content, please give me a thumbs up just here and hit the subscribe button, as it really helps me to reach out and share these learnings with our communities, which is really the aim of this channel. So for now, please keep reading, and whilst you're on YouTube, check out the rest of my videos here for some more great content. I really hope you like them, and till next time, remember, readers are leaders. See you next time.